determinant of a matrix using the cofactor method. Example 14. Let's say we are given a matrix P equals to 1, 2, 3, 4. In order to find the determinant of P, first step is to find the minor of P. To find the minor of P, look carefully here. So we find the first element of minor P, which is A11. So we will circle the first element here. Okay. Then draw a line that passes through this first element, which is the row, and then draw a line that is the column that passes through the first element. So what remains will become the minor of P. So in this case, the first element for the matrix minor of P is equals to 4. And for the second element, A12, which is row 1, column 2, so we are going to circle this number, this element which is in row 1 and column 2. So circle the number and then draw a line which is the row that passes through the second element, and also a line which represents the column that passes through the second element. So here we have what remains is 3. So 3 will become the minor for matrix P. And next we do the same thing. Alright, for element 2, 1, row 2, column 1. So circle row 2, column 1, draw a line across this second element, and then another line representing the column that passes through this second element. So what remains is 2. So 2 will become the answer for the third element, row 2, column 1. And the same goes for element number 4, which is at row 2, column 2. So we circle row 2, column 2, which is 4. Okay? And then draw 2 lines. One line representing the row that passes through 4, and then column that passes through 4. So what remains is 1, and 1 will become the answer. So therefore the minor of P, which is A11, 1, 2, 2, 1 and 2, 2, will be equals to 4, 3, 2 and 1. So just copy back the answers just now. You will get the minor of P, which is 4, 3, 2, 1. So next step, before we can find the determinant of P, we need to find the cofactor of P. In order to find the cofactor of P, we have the formula element in a cofactor equals to element in minor multiplied by -1 to the power of row plus column. I representing row and J representing column. Okay, let's look at the cofactor of P. So we have just now the first element of minor P is 4. So multiplied by this formula, -1 to the power I plus J. So we have -1. Since this is row 1, column 1, so we put the power as 1 plus 1. And then the second element, 3, which is at row 1, column 2. So 3 times -1 to the power of row 1 plus column 2. And the third element, 2 times -1 to the power, this is row 2, column 1, so we have 2 plus 1. And finally we have 1 times -1 to the power, this element is at row 2, column 2, so we put 2 plus 2. So when we simplify, we will get 4 times, so -1, 1 plus 1 becomes 2, 3 times -1, 1 plus 2 is 3, and then 2 plus 1 is 3, and 2 plus 2 equals to 4. So next, when we simplify, -1 to the power 2 is positive 1. So 1 times 4 will give us 4. The next element, -1 to the power 3, will be -1. So -1 times 3 is -3. And -1 to the power 3 here is also equals to -1. So -1 times 2 will give us -2. And finally, -1 to the power 4 is positive 1. So remember, if the power is an even number, so when negative to the power even will give us positive. When in this case, like the second element, if the power is an odd number 3, so negative to the power odd will retain the negative sign. So finally we have the cofactor of P, which is equals to 4, negative 3 and negative 2, 1. So the next step now is to find the determinant of P. So in order to find the determinant of P, determinant is equals to the product of elements in the original matrix and the elements of the cofactor of the row. So we need to select a row, right, in the original matrix and also the same row in the cofactor, and then we multiply. So let's look at the original matrix of P, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we know from the previous answer we have the cofactor of P equals to 4, negative 3, negative 2, 1. So let's say we choose the first row. As what I mentioned just now, determinant, we have to take elements in original matrix times elements in cofactor based on the same row. So in this example, I'm choosing the first row to find the determinant. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and then the cofactor we write here. So what we need to do is take elements in row 1 from the original matrix, multiply by the cofactor in row 1. So from here, we will get 1 times 4. So 1 times 4, we add to the second element 2 times negative 3. So we will get 4 plus negative 6. And then from here, the answer is